Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the west, ending with Team 2 in the east. Starting off with Team 1's northern player, working our way southward, we have in Snow White, Healy Ho. He is a Seraphim for this match. He is a 1200. To his south in Batman Gray is Ithalis. He is an Aeon. He is a 1600. He's the highest ranked player on his team of Team 1, and he's tied for the highest rank overall. In Imperial Gray to his south, we have the UEF player of Mog Shiesty. He is a 1200. Again, he is a UEF. To the southeast in Emerald Green is the Aeon player of D-Sync. No emotion face. He is an Aeon, and he is a 1300. In zigzagging to the west, we have in Tropical Ocean Blue Lasaus. He is a Cybran. He is a 1500. And last but not least, for Team 1 in Orange Color Orange is Zerbit the 7th. I'm going to call him Zer for short. He is an Aeon. He is a 1300. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 Aeons and then one of each of the factions, so 1 Seraphim, 1 Cybran, and 1 UEF. Starting off with Team 2 Southern player, working our way northward, we have in Light Oak Tan, already sending troops to the front line, is Mythologist. He is a UEF. He is a 1300. In Forest Green, the best color and faction combination of all of Supreme Commander Dumb. In my opinion, it is literal as a UEF, as a, again, 1500 in Forest Green. In Amethyst Purple 2 as west as Ninra, he is a UEF as well. He is a 1300. To his northeast in lightish red pink is Squealer as another UEF for Team 2. He is an 1100. And to his northwest we have the Pac-Man yellow player of Touch My Berries. He is a Seraphim for this match. He is a 1600, the highest rated player on Team 2, and tied with Ithalis with the highest rated player overall. And last but not least, here in the northeast corner here for Team 2 in Glow in the Dark Green is Themo29 as another Seraphim. He is an 1100. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 4 UEF and 2 Seraphim, so no Aeons and no Cybrans for Team 2. I will make a point to note that there's going to be probably a lot of indirect fire experimentals, that being the Fat Boys for Team 2, with some chickens in there. Team 1, of course, has a lot more spread of the technology, so a little bit favoring in terms of the long range attack power for Team 2, but in terms of direct fire, it's definitely favoring Team 1 in that regard. We're taking a look at the map for the weekend before players scoop it all up. Currently sitting at only 4,000 mass for 12 players. That's not even 400 mass per player. That's not, I mean, it's not 0, but it's not really writing home about. And in terms of mass point layouts, besides a couple of mexes in the main territory for Team 2 and a quad mex position in the northeastern corner, there's a small grouping of mexes over here in the middle. We have a twin mex over there, but that's split down the middle, and then there is a quad mex for each of these players in the south to grab. So pretty much not really a lot of mexes for any real team to really fight over. I mean, there's mainly going to be a lot of just back and forth in the middle up here. But this map is very interesting because it has kind of decently choke points. You have this, southern edge. We have two choke points there mirrored. Same kind of thing over here. There is the water that we do see D-Sync is taking advantage of against his opponent of Ninra, because he does have a couple of units that can hover. In this section of the map, I mean, you're going to walk in, grab those mexes, and then possibly hold, but you can't really go anywhere. So that's just dead space up there. Shout out, that is a very fun game if you haven't played it. And that's, I mean, there's a little bit of water. We do see some naval factories have been started for both of these teams nearby, but I don't see them impacting the game overall, just due to the fact that it's really just a small chunk of the map. We have a little bit of ponds over here for players to hide in, but that's really about it. I don't really see any huge advantages besides going for UEF cruisers or Seraphim cruisers with their missiles. Don't really see that being a huge boost to Team 2 or Team 1 respectively, but Of course, Team 1 does have an Aeon player nearby that can deploy those volcanoes and nullify a lot of those cruiser missiles. We do see that Ninra is in the water, same as Desync. He has produced a nice little Tiger Shock to fight off against any sort of subs that may spawn from Team 1. But currently it looks like a frigate has been started. And of course, hover tech units cannot be affected by torpedoes. These units are just perfectly fine sitting on the surface of the water. In the north, it looks like it's going to be a 2v1 in favor of Team 1. T2 has been started for Touch My Berries. Gun speed and range has been started for Heliho. Or Highlyho. I don't know. It's or Highho. Maybe I'm saying, I want to say there's an L there. Apologies for that. It looks like there's an L and then an I because the letters kind of squish together sometimes, but it's Highho, not Heliho. I do apologize for that introduction, butchering his name. We do see that gun is done here for Ithilus. Has not gone for range as of yet, but that upgrade got done very, very quickly. And I don't see any other upgrades besides those. In the south, looks like it's going to be a 2v1 so far, still in favor of Team 1. It is Mythologist versus Zur and Lasaus. We do see that Literal is moving in to assist, at least going over that angle. And we do see a couple of units with, the comm of Team 1's Desync over here. He's probably just going to reclaim, would be my best bet, just to deal with that couple of facilities. Or he might actually just pop out of the water, but looks like he will just reclaim. It's a lot safer that way. We do see that it is favoring Team 1 in the water, or in this case, they pseudo-hover tech water. And if you haven't seen my video on convertibles for Supreme Commander, it was the challenge for yesterday's campaign mission. Go ahead and check that out. It was very entertaining to just watch a bunch of Salems just walk across the map. Very, very fun to play. We do see tactical missile, very early tactical missile, I might add, for Team 1 Seraphim player of Highho. Still probably not going to say his name right. We do see Mach Shiesty going for a gun upgrade. We do see that Squealer is over here in the middle, as well assisting defensive mode of Touch My Berries. He's going for a couple of T2 PDs and just going for every wall section he can, just messing with the pathfinding of his opponent and himself, but he's going to avoid that area. We do see he has grabbed this dual mech position in the north with a nice little radar system to give him a little bit of intel gathering. You can see it just barely clipses that, so it's a little bit. It's not a lot, but again, it's definitely better than nothing. In the south, looks like land fight might start to occur. Wall section tries to be built, immediately destroyed. Zur does have the gun speed / range upgrades online. T2 air online for Mythologist, which is very interesting because he is being pretty much concentrating on land, but he's going for air. Maybe wants to go for a snipe opportunity. But very interesting he didn't go for T2 land instead of air. We do see T2 air is also online for Literal, producing some torp bombers to assist with the Navy side of things, whose comm is also in the water. T2 air possibly online here shortly for Highho, and then we do see gun advanced range has been started for Ithilus up there. In the southwest, we do see T3 air has been started, and no other upgrades here for Team 1 southern player of Zur. We do see that Mythologist is in full retreat, trying to build some T2 PD, but this is a lot of Aurora, bearing down his front door, and Zur is nearby, so these Aurora and Fervors move into range. Very unfortunate for those Aurora. They don't have a lot of hit points. They are tinfoil after all, and they have to watch out for those PD being built. Radar system will give some radar signatures for those PD to fire. And unfortunately, Zero looks like he's just going to run down Mythologist, or at least try to go after that PD emplacement at the minimum. But it will favor Team 2 overall. Janus over top almost hits the commander, and I think he just barely got scorched there. Oof, that's close fire support if I've ever seen it. Dang, that was not the best placement of those bombs, but hey, he dealt with those units, so it's better than nothing. Facility is offline. Torp bombers coming in, cleaning out the second one, and once that's dealt with, all of those naval facilities, at least for now, will be dealt with. T2 Navy is online for Ninra. Very interesting that he went straight forward. Kind of surprised he was able to build it. I know the initial facility was reclaimed, but he was able to get up to T2, obviously thanks to Literal's assistance from the air. No major land fights as of yet. We are seeing units inbound from Ithilus move in and grab this dual mech position. It wasn't going to last very much longer. The only way it would have is if Touch My Berries pushed in all the way to where these two comms currently are. But we do see that in the middle, Team 2 Squealer slowly pushing in ever so slightly, kind of slowly moving into Team 1's territory as I draw lines on the map indicating, further pushing to the west. Gun has been finished for Mythologist. Shield has been started, canceled, and gun is actually going to be built here for Literal. We do see some interceptors flying around, just being annoying with one another, trying to, again, protect those bombers that have been destroyed. T2 Navy has been started by Desync. I don't know if it's going to finish because a couple more Torp bombers would be more than enough to deal with it, but it looks like the T3 air upgrade is a little bit more of a priority. T3 has not been started yet for the Northern Air player of Themo. T2 air almost online for Hi-Ho. And I don't see much of anything else also going for T2 air over here, so going for 2 air facilities at the same time. Upgrades? Huh. I don't know why. Maybe that was a mistake. T2 air also in line for the middle player of Mach. And T3 air has been finished for LaSaus. And that gun is almost done for Literal in the middle. 12 minutes on the clock and no one has died yet. Mass income's a little bit favoring Team 1, but not terribly bad for Team 2. They are, again, hopping back and forth depending on mass income for reclaim or power or whatever the case may be. So the early mass advantage is nice, but it's not the end-all be-all of who is going to win the game. We do see, looks like he's probably going to go for frigates, I would assume. But looks like that is a destroyer. He has already produced just a couple of Thunder-class frigates to protect said destroyer. Looks like destroyer will be started for Desync as well. So there will be a small Navy fight. So for those that love Navy, there is a little bit of a nice little pocket there. For those that don't like Navy, it's not really taking up the entire line of combat. But of course, it's nice to have a little bit of variety. It is the spice of life, of course. We do see some Mongeese moving in here for Mach, going after Squealer's forces. Mach does have gun and nano on board. There is a decent amount of PD that Squealer has built up to try to slow Team 1's approach. Squealer moving in with his T2 upgrade is targeting all these strikers. Probably should take out those Mongeese, but those are pretty much done now. Most of these units are dead. One PD does fall offline, but I don't think this is really beneficial for Shiesty to continue to push. There are PD still in range, and Shiesty is taking shots. We do see Ithlis actually coming in from the north to double team Squealer. Reinforcements trying to stave off that attack inbound from Touch My Berries. But this is going to favor Team 1. They're going to just collapse on Squealer's position. Team 1 PD being built as fast as possible to try to shove Shiesty away. At least for the time being, of course, he can move out of range of the Team 1 PD. But that incoming land army is moving. Units still inbound from Touch My Berries, moving into at least support Squealer. Give him some sort of support, but this is a lot of units. Team 2 needs more support in one way or the other, either air or ground or even Navy, something to really throw off Team 1's assault. There are now 3 comms for Team 1 in this area of the map moving after Squealer. Squealer might be the first casualty of the game if he's not too careful. Decent amount of blazes in the mix. We do see a couple of reinforcements for Hi-Ho. I'm going to say his name differently every time, and it's probably going to confuse some of you, but I'm not going to call him Ho. That's what the fool mean. I don't know him. Oh, Overcharge barely misses. You see that just curves right in front of Squealer, but Squealer's being walked down by Team 1. The only thing that, of course, they have to be worried about is if they kill a player off this early, it gives somebody else on Team 2 double base. So they have to be very careful with how they go about this. If they push him back, that's enough, but if they kill him, that could be very deadly for Team 1's game, especially early on. But I think Mach is going to go for the kill. Ithlis has been supporting him this entire time. Ilshi's moving in to go after Hi-Ho, who also has a gun and missile launcher on board. Hasn't really used it, at least that I've seen. But Team 2 loses the first player at 14.5 minutes, and he got walked down, and that is now a 6v5 in favor of Team 1. He says always, probably referring to he's the one that dies first. And that always sucks if you're the one to die first. You want to play the game, and yet you just die earlier on. This game is over an hour. You've seen the time code for the video, or whatever that, I think it's called the time code. So it is a long game. Be prepared for some popcorn, snacks, drinks. What else could you grab? Beef jerky. Beef jerky is always good. It does depend. Does depend on what kind of beef jerky, because some beef jerky is not as good as others, of course. I don't know if I have a favorite, but growing up, I lived in California, and there was a butcher shop a couple of towns over that just made the best beef jerky. It was amazing. And really expensive back then, and it's super expensive now, but whenever I go back to California to visit my grandfather who still lives there, I always go get some because it's just delicious. It is just absolutely delicious. Missile launcher outbound from High Host Commander going after a T2 mech unguarded by TMD. So that will be a kill and 9 mess a second erased from Touch My Berries as go. We do see in the north T3 Air online for Thema producing more facilities as we speak. In the northwest, T2 Air online in multiple locations, but T3 Air has been started as well. Is that a T3 pigeon? Oh, it looked like a T3 pigeon for a second. Strat Bomber over the top, actually multiple of them, and Janus going after Ithalus's commander. Where is the ASF for Team 1? I only see interceptors. I think that Strat Bomber might be going... No, it is going to go for that commander. Ithalus receiving fire not only from some T1 bombers, but T2 fighter bombers and T3 bombers. Every sort of bomber that Team 2 can deploy is being thrown at Ithalus's commander. Another bomb will kill him. He has to be very careful. Get underneath that shield coverage and protect himself. 200 hit points. Ooh, 300 hit points remaining. Janus over top trying to burn the capacity of the shield away. And there he goes. Team 2 loses their first player of the game at 16.5 minutes. Getting some revenge for Squealer, dropping this game back to a 5v5. Yeah, 200 HP when he got underneath the shield. That is nuts. He did survive a little bit longer after that, but not so much. You do see now Strat Bomber might be going after High Host Commander. Going to drop some... Nope. Looks like one bomb does drop, but they might be called back to base. There is now some ASFs inbound from Team 1 that will scoop up both of those bombers. Or at least try to scoop up both of them. There is that one over there still. It is severely damaged, but, you know, it can do some damage. Get out a bomb, go after a T2 radar installation, or even just go after some mexes or something to do some damage on that side of the map. But the ASF from Team 1 are distracted by Team 2's. That opens the door for even more damage for Team 2 to inflict. But it is shot down by a flak cannon, and that is a nice little 1100 mass to scoop up. Team 1 has benefited greatly in terms of the mass in the middle of the map here, and Team 2 is nowhere near it. Touch My Berries has been playing very defensively, just building necessary units. He went for T3, hit some sniper bots, and I don't know what his strategy is as of yet. Maybe he'll go for a T4 unit, the chicken, very early, just because he wants to defend as much as possible. It does cede a lot of a territory to Team 1 because he's not pushing as much, but he is doing a decent job raiding with his Vultures, taking out mixes where he can. Great use of some, just again, a couple of units just to annoy. Going to kill off a decent amount of build power. Going to be very, very annoying. And those, of course, are going to be very, very useful for... Actually, that's not... no, those are under control of Touch My Berries. No, they're not. They're actually under the control of Themo. Just for some reason, the color is... When you put Pac-Man yellow and glow-in-the-dark green together, for some reason in my brain, they look very similar, especially with just how the... See, now it tells me they're owned by Themo, but these ones weren't telling me they were owned by Themo. Weird. Anyway. A great use of just a couple of units from Themo. Apologies for being a little bit scatterbrained there. Sometimes my brain is locked and loaded, and sometimes my brain is kind of just mush. I feel like most of the time my brain is mush when I do casts, but there is once in a while where I have a nice, clean thought. Mythologist holding the line down in the south, doing tons of work, holding off his opponent of Zur. Of course, there is Lasaus over here. It looks like he's falling back to his base. He doesn't want to be sniped, especially with the snipe earlier on in the north. He wants to get out of there. Of course, he is the air player. That does make sense. We do see T3 Air online, of course, for Literal, and T3 Air is coming online for Mythologist, so a secondary and tertiary air player in this game for Team 2, being a northern and southern air player, and then, of course, Mythologist. But again, he is on the land side of things, and he's going heavy into air. He does have a T2 land facility online pretty far forward, actually in the middle of the natural choke point down here. He wants to fight with his commander. He's almost up to 3-star veterancy, so I don't blame him. He wants to get more hit points and survive. There is a back and forth naval battle here in the middle. Gun range has been started. Decent amount of some cruisers and some destroyers online. I don't see any cruisers. Oh, there's one online, excuse me, for Team 2. But a lot of emphasis on this. And both of these players decided to just build some wall sections and just kind of leave it there. Not really worried about trying to have a land or engagement that way. Just want to do full navy. Advanced range has been started for Desync. He does have shield and the speed upgrade as well, so he's going for Aeon Sniper Commander. So definitely something to be aware of for Team 2. We do see a large group of units here from Mock, who has taken over for Aethelus. Looks like he has. That is now 2 bases for him. He's now sitting at 190. His teammate of LaSalle is at 250. And Team 1 is leading quite considerably in the mass department, now at 20 minutes, being over 100 mass per second. Team 1 has lost Squealer. Team 2 has lost... Sorry, Team 2 has lost Squealer. Team 1 has lost Aethelus. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game at 20 minutes and 30 seconds or so. Please, if you haven't done so already, like the video, and of course subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really do appreciate every single one of you. And of course, it's a nice little dopamine hit when that number goes up. But I really do appreciate the support. It lets me know my videos are cared about not only by you, but by YouTube as well, which promotes them to more people, which continues the cycle of being, you know, just known on YouTube. We do see this push is continuing, just tear apart Team 2's northern middle section, I should say. And Ninra is nearby. He only has T2 online in his commander. Doesn't really have a lot of ways to fight back. He does have a couple of Titans in the mix, but his facility looks like it's the main target for Mock Shiesty, alleviating a little bit of the pressure from Team 2's Ninra against the naval position, which has pretty much now lost all of its destroyers and mainly all naval units besides a cruiser. So this is not looking good for Team 1. So desperately needs some support in that regard, and it's going full board, just sending it as fast and as hard as he can. Titans fighting Titans. PD trying to stave off the incoming threat. Of course, some units have hover, so they're able to avoid the land restrictions in terms of movement. There is a decent amount of Mongeese in the mix, but they're being wiped out. Also some Othams in the mix, just staying online for a lot longer than Team 2 wants them to. There are a couple of Blazes in the mix and some counter Riptides as well, but it looks like Team 2's Ninra has done a great job handling that threat. There were more reinforcements inbound from Touch My Berries to cut off reinforcements, but that could have been a huge disaster in the Navy, especially because Team 2 is winning it. But you see that Desync going after the reclaim play, trying to just deal with his opponent in one way or the other. Another destroyer online, just trying to stave off incoming threats. We do see this mainly T2 force wiped out by some Othams. The are Ilshis, they're very good units, but against firepower of that magnitude, they are not going anywhere. There is a Percy online for Mock. And in the middle, things have quieted down quite considerably after that attack. In the south, looks like Team 2's Mythologist is kind of just held at his position. T3 Land is online, going for Demolishers, not going for Percys, wants long range, well, mobile artillery. We do see he has a secondary base up here, kind of just being annoying. PD, shields, TMD, and artillery. Very, very, not necessarily annoying to deal with, but just, of course, if Azura sends forces in to deal with that, he can send forces in that he doesn't really have, but if he did, he'd send them in. So it's kind of a 1-2 punch. If that base continues to stay online, it's going to be more and more annoying for Azura to break into Mythologist's position. We do see that Team 2's Little is on a transport. Don't know where he's going, but looks like he just wants to move somewhere quickly. That is a danger, of course, when you put your commander on a transport, but he is shadowing it with some ASF, so not really a huge concern there. And Desync pops out of the water. He's going to have a nice little surprise here. Literal pops in right in front of him and takes a couple of shots in the face. His shield is almost depleted. Desync needs to notice his overcharge, kills off another unit. T2 Navy structure is targeted. Desync is not going to be happy about this. Drops it very, very quickly here. A couple more shots from a destroyer in the comm, and this will be a kill for Team 2's Ninra and Literal. Great drop here by Literal. Of course, all of the engineers go boom, and a lot of the units also go boom, but that it will be a win for Team 2, dropping this game now to a 5v4 in favor of Team 2. And with that, of course, APM goes down, and this base most likely will go down here in a short few minutes. T3 Tech coming online here for Touch My Berries. No experimentals as of yet that I have seen. I probably missed something somewhere, but of course wouldn't be the first time. Looks like Chicken has been started, but it's not done yet. And the only real players I would expect to see an experimental out yet would be Mock, who's probably going for Fat Boys. Yep, going for that shortly. Or he may be going for a Colossus somewhere, but I don't see anything as of yet. And in the southern side of things, anything air grid being expanded upon, definitely the normal build focus there. Colossus has been started down here for Zur, so Team 2's Mythologist really needs to get some more defenses online. We do see some Janus going after sniper bots. They're just going to bake that thing in holy fire. Will not kill it, but severely deplete its HP. And I'm assuming another Janus might be called for to deal with that here shortly. But no experimentals down here as of yet for Team 2. Omni down there, great placement there, using the environment to shield it. But large group of forces, mainly T1s, but a decent amount of T3 in the mix as well. We are seeing that Occam's pull all of these forces north, while Ninra moves a chunky group of units to just shadow this position, not allowing another attack to go after his facilities. And we do see with the death of Desync, these facilities are essentially now gone. Of course, the T2 Naval headquarters is still alive, but it's not going to last very much longer. A couple more destroyers still to deal with this, as well as, of course, a cruiser or two to shell the land and other stuff with those missiles. Tactical nuke has been started for Mock Shiesty, so Billy nukes are on the table here for Team 1 with 4 players, actually 3 at this point with Squealer dead, with UEF comms. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least one of them go for Billy nuke. I would be surprised if I don't see any of them, but I wouldn't be surprised to see at least one. GC is at 50. Love the tactical support from Squealer, the dead player on Team 2, just trying to assist his teammates and take the mental load off just a little bit, because that little bit could make a huge difference. Of course, depending on what it is. And mexes are being taken offline as we speak by these cruiser missiles. Looks like one of them got destroyed. Yep, there it goes to the bottom of that little pond there. And this will start to be a nice little pain point for Team 1 to deal with. That is an interesting whatever the heck's happening with that Billy nuke loading, because he has to build the missile launcher and then load it and then build the Billy nuke, if I remember correctly, and then get the upgrade. It's instead of just building the backpack upgrade and then going for Billy nuke. And there's probably a way to like keep that balanced. You have to build the Billy nuke first and then actually build the upgrade, but no, I guess not. Maybe you don't have to. For some reason, I've always seen like the Billy nuke be loaded first, and then, or the missile be loaded first, and then the upgrades start. But maybe they changed it. I could be wrong about that. I am wrong about a lot of things, so I would not be surprised. Decent amount of TMD to protect the base over here to the east for Themo. We do see, of course, Ninra and Mock Shiesty might be gearing up for an attack. It's getting very close to blows here, especially with those cruisers starting to poke and prod everything around that pond in the south. That Colossus is almost done. It's in the high greens, about to cross into the 99,999 hit points club. And artillery starting to impact these PD. Takes out 2 of them. Great grab by that Demolisher. More and more artillery being thrown at this, as well as missile launchers over here going after this base. There is already TMD here. But it is going to take a little bit longer for Team 1 to chew through those defenses. And Ravager's already online, and Mythologist has retreated just in case that Colossus gets anywhere close. 27 minutes on the clock here. Team 1, what are your plans for world domination? At least domination in this situation. Looks like just air grid up here to the north. Chicken has been started for Hi-Ho. We do see T3 air is done. T3 land will be done here shortly, producing some restorers. It's already done. So best, of course, T3 AA gunship in the game. And of course, the best air to ground is the broadsword, with the Whaler being a nice mix, which of course depends on the situation, but it is a nice. The Whaler is a nice unit, I will admit. Of course, I prefer the broadsword, but that's just me. It's the whole min-maxing versus jack-of-all-trades kind of thing. We do see that Colossus is done. It's going for this PD and TMD base, and that shield is not going to last very much longer with that Colossus moving in. There goes the shield. Colossus is going to get some veterancy. There are some gunships inbound and T1 units to boot as well, just to assist. Where are the ASFs? The ASFs are nearby. Second experimental Monkey Lord is inbound for LaSalle's. Colossus about to drop it into the yellow, but those gunships are going to be ripped apart very quickly. Team 2's ASF are waiting. That's a large group of ASFs for Team 1 to have built up, but nice engagement here for both Literal and Touch My Berries, and I think it will still favor Team 1, though. There's just so many of them. And we have two players trying to micro two players trying to micro an Air Force versus one player trying to micro it. There are, of course, interceptors soaking up some of the shots, but ooh, it might favor Team 2 ever so slightly in this engagement, actually. And that will give Team 2 a little bit of wiggle room to play with their ASFs. There are more over here. I think had these ones from Hi-Ho joined, that would have definitely been a Team 1 victory. But Monkey Lord, I think, will go after the T2 Naval Headquarters for Ninra to shut that annoying nonsense down. At least he thinks it's annoying. Players on Team 2 probably find it very enjoyable. ARAS has been started for Touch My Berries. And I don't see any... Well, there is a chicken online for Team 2's Touch My Berries, so he is moving that in with a lot of T3 air and land... Sorry, AA support and ground support. We have a couple of shields as well. No sniper bots? Ah, for shame. You are a Seraphim. No sniper bots. How dare you? We do see a Billy Nuke is inbound, and it might actually just strike these gunships that are moving in to deal with this chicken. Of course, the gunships are targeting the AA units as they should. And there is a decent amount of lightning tanks. Will that Billy Nuke do a lot of damage or no damage? We'll see. There are a couple of Othams that will get hit by this. 3 of them will go down. And I don't think any restorers were caught in the blast. ASFs moving in to deal with the rest of the gunships. ASFs from Hi-Ho moving in, and more ASFs for Touch My Berries moving in to intercept. And more ASFs moving in from LaSalle. And Team 2 will win that fight. And there are more ASFs moving in for Hi-Ho. So it's just back and forth and back and forth. And with that, Team 1 will win that air fight. And that chicken is continuing to just pressure. There is an inbound chicken for Hi-Ho, able to protect his commander from the incoming assailant of this chicken. And of course, it will leave a little bit of mass for Team 1 to scoop up. But again, a T3 land headquarters going down, definitely not a good thing. Nuke has been started. It is built. It is not loaded, but it is ready to go, at least for the minute, for Hi-Ho as well. So nukes are on the table. Large group of hives gating in some SACUs to scale that econ for LaSalle. He's sitting at 400, and Mock catching up to him at 400 as well. We do see that Touch My Berries is at 500 mass income, and he's dealing with a large land incursion of his own. His chicken is gone. Unfortunately, he would have definitely liked that for defense, but he shoved it in Team 1's face, did whatever damage he could, but is able to kill off the chicken from Hi-Ho as well, so it is a murder-suicide pack for those units. I don't see too much AA in this mix, but gunships, at least the T2 variety, are decently weak. So, of course, a burst or two of some Cougars will deal with most of them. But, of course, there are more PD being built all the time. The Percy's trying to just throw everything they have at these engineers to stave off the constant construction of more PD. Team 1 and Team 2 trying to just be spammed up. There's also a lot of Obsidians in here, very tanky tanks. Because I feel like that's kind of redundant, but it is. They are tanky tanks. They are heavy tanks, and there are more units inbound from Ninra, the one sitting over here. So that land fight doesn't really occur where he would have expected it, but it will, of course, break through Team 2's defenses, at least on this northern side here. Touch My Berries, but most of those T3 units still being brought to bear here. They're just slowly being trickled in, and those forces for Ninra actually retreat, moving in to go after this monkey who cut through all of the defenses here. T2 Naval Headquarters is offline, probably assisted by those Torque Bombers, taking out a decent amount of mixes for Ninra. But there's still a Colossus to boot, going after another T3 mix. Will it get it? Only had 500 hit points remaining, and it will actually get killed off by that Fat Boy, unfortunately, but the mix is still dead one way or the other. And a Fat Boy is now online, of course, as mentioned. Surprisingly enough, that Colossus went all the way northeast, did not go for the base for Mythologist. He has a decent amount of T3 Ravagers, as well as, of course, some shields, some PD, other T2 PD, and other facilities. But that would have definitely crushed him down there. Interestingly enough, he went to link up with the monkey, which did do a decent amount of damage, but I feel like going after Mythologist probably would have been the better punch to the gut, especially because it's down there. Nothing below the bed, of course, but still damaging enough. This wave of units still pushing in for Mach Shiesty. Of course, couple of mexes offline, but this is the main place that he probably wanted to get them to. A couple of dual ring T2 mexes here, sorry, T3 mexes here, and that's not going to be pretty. There are ASFs guarding the gunships. The Percy's not focusing the mexes. There we go. Now it's starting to focus those mexes, but of course it might be a little too late at this point. Oh, but the T3 mex is taken out. Doesn't help that a bomber came in and kind of dropped the bomb right next to it. Match for experimental bomber, please, says Themo. So that is almost done. It's half done, or half dead or half alive. How's the nuke going? It's almost loaded, and it's going to fire immediately. Where, of course, are you firing? Ooh, that is not great here for Themo. That nuke is going to land. That comm might die to the nuke, and that experimental is at 80%. That is not looking good here for Team 2's air player in the north. That nuke will launch. There it is. It will land. And it will land right. I thought it was going right for him, but it's going for this. Will the experimental bomber make it out of there? It's going to be close. It is in the green. What's the percentage? 88, 90. Ooh, it is, of course, almost a 20 by 20, so that nuke travels a little bit slower, air quotes, because it is a bigger map, but it's going to be close. He's got to move. His comm is moving. Engineers being transported out of there, and that nuke is sailing overhead. Will he finish it? 51,000, 52,000. You got to get that thing out of there. There it goes. That bomber gets out of there, and that nuke will land behind them, and boom, makes it out safely. Of course, the engineers gave their lives for that bomber. And down in somewhere, an SACU blows up. Oh, it's just a billion nuke. Never mind. Going after the land army over here. But that was definitely a bittersweet moment here for Themo. Got the bomber out of there. Lost his entire main air grid. Still has his T3 air headquarters, though. But doesn't have much of anything else remaining. All of his power is gone. He's really going to have to struggle to get back online. He's essentially knocked out for the time being. Another billion nuke inbound here from Team 1's Mock Shiesty. He's also built some TMD just in case the missile is redirected. Very smart plan. Of course, Team 2 doesn't have any Cybran, so he doesn't have to worry about that, but it is good to have it just in case. Nuke will land after the spam facilities and kill off at least 3 of them. There they go. There's 3 of them. He's so far killed off 17,000 mass with his commander, where they're going to, I think that's mainly his billion nuke, but, you know, commander does get some shots in. The bomber immediately destroyed. I don't really know what happened with that. I walked away for a minute, or looked away for a minute, I guess would be the better way to put it. Bomber was immediately destroyed. Essentially, it's just a mass gift to Literal, who's building maybe artillery, possibly, just more mass fabs or something. How kill I kill harms with T2. Don't think I can without torps. I mean, he can ground fire with some battleships, but I don't know. There are some harms, of course, as being stated by Lasaz, trying to close in on this naval front here for Team 2. To essentially make this a null and void scenario. Essentially, if you can't have Navy, no one can. And that nuke, how much mass did that kill off? Probably, let's guess 70,000. No, that's too much. Let's say 60,000. No, only 52,000, surprisingly enough. But it, of course, had it got that bomber, would have probably killed off 70-something. So it's still a great first nuke, though. And, of course, Team 2 is building SMDs hastily to defend themselves against said nuke. That is one thing to watch out for, is that once you deploy a strategy, maybe you get another nuke off like this, but most of the time you only get the one. And you just change things up. Go for artillery. Go for Novaxes if you're UEF. Go for more experimentals, whatever faction you are. You got to change things up because Team 2, or in this case Team 2, is going to be prepared for it. SMD being built and is currently loaded. There is no SMD down here. That would be actually a nice second nuke, but I don't think Literal's SMD will... no, we'll allow that. You line it up correctly. There is a monkey bearing down the hatches against this fat boy over here to the east. There are some armigers coming to assist as well. Wish these would transfer over to one player, but Strap Armor's inbound, cleaning up a few of them. Looks like they might be going after this Omni sensor. Great grab if they do get it. Blinding Team 2's ability to see what's coming. Of course, now that Monkey Lord is going to hide underneath the surface of the water, and that Omni is going to go down. Very unfortunate, but there's nothing that Team 2 can do about it. Of course, they might be trying to go for that SMD, and that would be a great grab if they can get an Omni and an SMD, but they'll take the Omni at a minimum. You see just Billy Nukes being harassful or being annoying for Team 2's Ninra to deal with. And we do see mass FAF farms and air grids being expanded upon by LaSalle's. Quantum reactors coming online. 2 air headquarters. Don't really get why you build them that close. More T2 land headquarters and a T3 one back there. See, I do agree with there's a T3 land headquarters up here and up here, but that's it. You don't need any other T2 headquarters or anything like that. It just costs more mass. Might as well fund that into units. Whereas you do get more build support. That's just kind of how it goes. This is a T2. You get 40. Actually, it's this. Oh, excuse me. It's the same. I feel like you should get more with a headquarters, but because the engineering support is only 40. No, I thought you get more support, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Which, again, like I've said, I am wrong about a lot. Nuke will land on top of Ninra's position, but the SMD was just built. That is a dead commander if he does not move. Monkey has now merged from the water once again. Fat Boy pressure in the middle here from Team 1. There are some engineers on station going to try to scoop up some wrecks, but they're going to get shot down quite easily. ASF's incoming to deal with the transports. 2 chickens also inbound. The engineers are going to have a little bit of time to scoop up that mass. The Monkey is inbound. Will Ninra move? He's building some PD, but that nuke is inbound. And if he doesn't move now, he's a dead commander is what he is. I don't know, guys. I am versus Triple Eco. His naval position has been wiped out. A couple of units still alive, but here comes the nuke. And it's going to land, kill the SMD and the comm. And will it get the Fat Boy? It'll singe it just a little bit and cook-a-boom. That is a kill for Team 1's air player of Hi-Ho in the north, dropping this game to a tie game once again at 4v4 at 39 minutes. And, of course, that Fat Boy did get a little bit singed, but it's back up almost like it didn't even happen. We see in the south 1 Fat Boy online. Shield's not really having a fun time, though. Looks like Mythologist has some power issues. It looks like he's fixed it. Just had a momentary loss in shield strength. And everything will be transferred over to him. I'm surprised that it's going to him. It might be going to Touch My Berries just because he's microing the middle a lot more than, let's say, Literal and Mythologist. I feel like it would be splitting Mythologist's APM a little bit too much. And, of course, SMDs being built around just to protect everyone on Team 2's side. So that is a great grab here by Team 1. And will they make it a 3rd nuke launch, or will they just be satisfied with that 101,000 mass? So 2 nukes, 50,000 mass each. Definitely mass efficient in that regard. Fat Boys are now being spammed here by Mythologist, but those look like he is going to retain control and not give that over to anybody else on Team 2. Which you don't have to, but it just... My opinion has always been, if you have a player that's right next door, unless you're right next door, it kind of makes sense to give it to him. So in this case, Touch My Berries, but maybe he just wants the extra eco, which, I mean, he's producing now 500 mass per second. If he gifted the Touch My Berries, he's probably going to sit up almost 1,000. So he is kind of spreading the wealth around a little bit by keeping it. So anyway, there's arguments for both. And I just present the cases, and everybody decides down in the comments if what I say is a good idea or a bad idea, or I'm just talking crazy. Because I do that sometimes. Just kind of go nuts. T2 artillery being spammed up here by both of these southern players. So now it went from just T1, T2, a couple T3 units fighting one another, to 1 Colossus storming a position up here, to now just artillery wars both in the mobile and stationary department. I mean, we did see kind of that with some T3 demolishers. But now it's official. Some miasma versus some clink hammers and a Fat Boy to boot. And that will obviously favor Team 2 for the firepower. Another Fat Boy inbound from Mythologist. Another experimental build. What is it? Is it a monkey? Is it a crab? Is it a... It is that... Well, that's being built. But I don't think it's that... Where... Is it a Fat Boy somewhere? Oh, look, it's a Fat Boy there. I don't know. Maybe it was transferred over. Possibly... It looks like it was Mock Shiesty gifting everything over to his teammate of LaSalle. Looks like he had to probably go somewhere. He is going to get 1 shield to his name, and that's it. But that's going to be sent to the front. We do see a defense satellite online. The Seraphim player of Touch My Berries has a UEF satellite. Where is it? I want to see it in all its glory. Where is it? He's building an artillery as we speak. Didn't build any shielding. For shame. For shame. Not building a shield first. For shame. Of course, if he gets it online, he gets shields. That's great, but why take that risk? And that, of course, is Themo doing that currently. I don't see the... Where's the satellite? It's being owned by somebody on Team 2, and it was either yellow or glow in the dark green. So, oh, it's right there in front of my face, staring at me. That is the first satellite of the game. And again, with 4 UEF players, the first one to build one on Team 2 side of the map is the Seraphim player, or one of the two. Very, very funny. Kind of not what you would normally expect, but, you know, he got the stuff from Squiddo, so I guess he's technically a hybrid at this point. 2 Fat Boys bombarding this Colossus, drops his hit points into the mid-yellows. T2 Miasma are going to try to stave off this incursion, but that is a lot of artillery support, plus some missiles, and I'm surprised no Demolishers are still hit, but there looks like the main line T3 army is actually up here. He wants to draw in Team 1's attention over here and then attack with his Fat Boys. That is a lot of miasma being thrown at the Fat Boys so they can get a little bit closer. That miasma bank will go down, and of course we do see that Zur has to be very careful. The cascade effect is deadly for these SACUs if they do explode next to one another, so has to watch out for that. Donut has been started by him as well. Huge Air Force sitting here waiting to engage. Decent Air Force here for Literal. And it does look like the satellite going after the exposed mass fabricators and other PGens. And of course that's just a lot of hives. Kind of looks like he misclicked there for a second. They're not perfect. They're not SimCity. It's not perfect. Have to control K them and redo it. Of course, just depends, but I probably won't do that. 3 chickens over here for Team 2's Touch My Berries. 43 minutes on the clock. How's that nuke loading? It's halfway loaded. Another one still hasn't really prioritized it as much. Looks like he has already built an artillery, and that's going after Team 2's position, who already has an artillery as well. So both of the Northern Seraphim air players both have T3 artillery. One is targeting, it looks like, the air grid here for LaSalle's. That can reach. There is range on T3 artillery, but it's actually, that's Themo's, excuse me, not Touch My Berries. There we go. It can barely hit some of the air grids, so it's not perfect, but there are some shields being built very, very quickly. Of course, the satellite over top definitely encourages LaSalle's to build it even sooner than that, but of course there is a lot of build support in there, so those shields go up very, very quickly. There are a lot of a lot of Percy's in the water being fired upon by some harms. And if they were bricks, they'd be able to at least deal with some of those harms. We do see in the south, both of those Fat Boys are annihilated by artillery. Definitely unfortunate for Team 2's Mythologists. Pushed them a little bit too far, and they got killed for it. It looks like one artillery from Team 1 targeting the one from Team 2. The one from Team 2 looks like it's targeting this position over here. Currently, a Duke is under construction in the green. Ooh, that could actually be denied. You can see that the satellite is targeting the Pigeon, not the Pigeons, the Duke, not the Pigeons. Definitely a missed opportunity there. Would be an easy kill for that Duke if it went for the Pigeon first, but it does, of course, reduce the fire rate as well. Oh, that one landed right to the north. Oh, that's unfortunate. Now all of the engineers going for the shield, and then that will protect that Duke. Definitely unfortunate, because if the Pigeon exploded, a lot of the build power would have been killed. Of course. But more time it would take to build everything, the more likely that it will be destroyed by the artillery and the laser. Gunships inbound to protect against an incoming chicken rush inbound from Touch My Berries. She's trying to just skate them on the edge. There's a decent amount of sniper bots that will go down to the AoE cannons on board those chickens. The chicken turns around to face this one, and I don't think it'll get anywhere near it. It will get rank and veterancy for its assistance in the kill, and almost got killed off. 5,000 hit points remain, and that PD bank is going to go down. Colossus inbound, so that's a nice little mass dump for Team 1. They have 2 to 3 times your air total, says Squealer. Yeah, it looks like the air fight was thought about. Really, says Literal? Oh, I mean, we can actually check that math right now, because I have the ability to do so. There are currently 230 ASFs for LaSalle's, a couple of gunships and other units We do see that Hi-Ho has 106, so what was that? 160 plus 250? That's there, yeah, 250 rounded up. So about 400 ASFs. Team 2's literal sitting at 150, and Touch My Berry is sitting at 4 scouts and 2 satellites, to be fair. But Themo sitting at 100. So Team 2 definitely on the they're not doing great in terms of the ASF counts. About a 3-2 advantage. So every 3 ASFs for Team 1, 2 ASFs for Team 2. But it's like almost a 5-3. But I don't know. I feel like when we start talking about fractions, it's kind of just trying to get the exact number isn't really worth it. Crab pushes forward, gets transferred over to Zur, but on the front line, not the best place to transfer it over. But of course, the base is being riddled with holes. The shields are down. The Crab is just bombarding everything. Fatboy is retreating. Donut is waiting to be given orders, and Colossus also waiting, almost in the dead zone, being less than 0 hit points, or at 0 hit points. There is a couple of artillery pieces trying to slow this approach, but that's a lot of artillery being bombarded at Team 2. Mythologist is barely holding, but his flank is collapsing. He needs to get some assistance down there. Multiple Fat Boys. 4 Fat Boys are inbound for Team 1. LaSalle, that is starting to be critical mass worth of Fat Boys. Got to be very careful with letting that get closer to Team 2's base. There are 2 Fat Boys up here, though, but 2v4 will only favor Team 1. Doesn't matter the engagement. 3 satellites online now for Touch My Berries. He is spamming those. Sorry, 4 satellites online for Touch My Berries. He is spamming those things out. Is there a second artillery? Yes, there is, being built by Themo, and he is getting more shields. Needs to get a shield here and a shield here just to benefit from the adjacency, or at least here, because again, he probably doesn't want to build it here for the mass storage position. But of course, he is getting more shields over here, and he is doing a little bit of both, going for artillery and shields, so it's able to survive some more hits and of course get construction underway. And it looks like one of those artillery shots break through with the assistance of those satellites and kill off the one for Hi-Ho. How's his nuke doing? His nuke is loaded and about a quarter of the way to the next one. That's gotta hurt. I felt that when air grids or PGen grids go up in smoke. It's definitely, it's fun to watch, but it just hurts. You can just feel it. You're like, oh, that was a cascade. That's gonna hurt. Explosion does happen somewhere, and it doesn't look like anybody died, so it sounds like it's an SACU. And it's down here. Fat Boys continuing to pressure. This Colossus will probably kill it, and a couple of SACUs looks like they died, or one died to just some Fat Boy pressure. But that's a Fat Boy still barely in range. Artillery also coming in. They really want that Colossus dead. 3,000 hit points and still standing. Crab still sitting at a lot more hit points than that. It's going to be a lot of things to deal with. Of course, he has a lot of eco, says Squealer. I'll bet it's a Scathus. And it's going to be, that is a T4 mobile experimental unit. One of the best in the game, of course, because it is one of the only T4s that are mobile. Actually, it is the only T4 that is experimental. Well, at least in terms of game enders. It's mobile. An airfight happens over Team 2's base. A lot of the shields do go down, and SMD still alive. Airfight does occur, or it did occur, I should say, but it looks like Team 1 got the better end of it. All the ones from Themo are dead. The Fat Boys, at least one of them is eliminated. Oh, at the same time, Team 2 loses one. There's still a Colossus up there, and 3 more? 1, 2... No? I thought I saw another one built over here. Looks like oh, that was a shot inbound from Team 2's artillery. Inbound for that massive shielded air grid slash Colossus, not Colossus, but Scathus slash RAS SACU production. All of that for Team 1's sauce. That is going to be a tough cookie to crack, or crumble. Tough nut to crack. The donut is killed off, though, by Team 2's AA, so that's a mass dump for Team 2 to scoop up. Team 1's going to definitely gonna be annoyed about that. Artie on Artie, says Ninra. Looks like that Colossus is finally defeated, but Team 1 is gaining ground. We do see that Zur has the Soothsayer online, giving a decent amount of vision. It's not perfect because it's not in the middle of the map. It's kind of on the edge, but it does at least give them some vision to Team 2's Mythologist's main base, at least part of it. just so that they can see what is inbound. This is not going good. Of course, all these units are slowly going into a choke position, nice little kill box. So if Team 2 gets enough defenses online, it's going to take still even longer for Team 1 to break through. Fat Boy pressure still in the north. You see a Colossus about to die. 2 set Fat Boys from Team 2. Another explosion somewhere. Don't know where. It's probably an SACU. ACU gets pinged by Mythologist, so Team 2 knows where it is. We do see another satellite roaming the map here. Team 2 sitting at 6 of them. 7 of them here shortly. And as much as I like to see them all grouped together, I will say one thing. Shields, 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 and of course, as always, more shields. Looks like the artillery from Team 1's Duke is targeting the SMD for Team 2's Touch My Berries. Looks like they want to use the nuke against them. There is a backup SMD back here, but at least they could strike this position and take out some defenses, because that's a lot of T2 artillery and a lot of Team D and AA. Second artillery almost done for Themo. And this game has switched from a decent T4 battle on the land side of things to an artillery / game render battle. Scathus at 30%. Nuke, how is it looking? 2 nukes are loaded. It would be a shame if that blew up without launching any of them. But of course, why would you launch it if you can't get it to land and blow up? That is the unfortunate rub of this game, is they can be shot down. We do see a couple of Harbingers just kind of hanging out, and that Fat Boy is going to get some veterancy for that. Already sitting at 3-star veterancy is actually very rare to see Fat Boys with that, so that's going to get probably close to 4 now. That's an additional 30% hit points, and that will keep them alive a little bit longer. Colossus pushing in against the Fat Boys. SACUs just being very useful with their shield presets. 52,000 hit points on board the shield. They regen 150 of that per second. Of course, they can build stuff as well, and some RAS presets as well mixed in there. Don't really see the shield one in terms of the personal shield. We mainly only see the bubble shield, the little mobile one like the Fat Boy but smaller. And lots of AA to protect against any gunship or bomber raids, and that has just been so much mass has been dumped on both sides of the map just into this one section. Lots and lots of units have died down there. Of course, the satellite threat still cannot poke through. Oh, there are some holes in the air grid. You can see them with the artillery's help, but the shields are staying online quite well, and some of them are being assisted, and some Seraphim shields are being added to the mix as well. Love to see the sharing of technology here. You probably just got it from, who would that be? Probably High gifted it over. I think there was only 1 Seraphim on Team 1 to start with, and there was 3 Aeons, so yeah, that's just gifted over. But again, love to see the sharing of tech. In the north, tons of PGens being built with some mass fabs. Second artillery is online. That's probably what helped crack the initial hole in the shielding. But that Scathus is about to be 50% done, and it's going to be a little bit longer until that finishes. SACU is going down. Oh, nice cascade. Look at that. Just boom, 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 boom. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. They all are SACUs, so what is that? 2, 4, 6. That's 66 mass a second that Zer just lost per second because of those SACUs going down. Man, Little kept his team in this game for the first 40 minutes. I mean, he's done a very good job down there in the east, not only assisting Mythologist. Actually, that was Literal. I read Mythologist, didn't I? But no, I think Little's doing a decent job, of course, with his satellites. He has 2 satellites as well. Nuke is inbound, and that SMD is down. It was eventually taken out, and it looks like mexes are being repaired as we speak. But unfortunately, oh yeah, it was due to this bomber that was inbound. Looks like it tried to go for this SMD, go for a 1-2 punch, but unfortunately it will stay alive. Another satellite is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many does one man need? Part 2, pretty much. Another nuke inbound. It's going to land here, so he's going to drop it a little bit short. And I still think it's in the... Yep, it's barely in the ring. This one is going to shoot that one down. I don't think Team 1 edged that nuke out. Did not. They did not, so it will be shot down. Definitely unfortunate. Would have killed off 2 Fat Boys, most likely. Shields. Oh, no. Starting to see more cracks in the armor. But, of course, the main target of all of this wrath from Team 2's essentially northeastern players being touched by berries And Themo is still alive, still cooking, no issues there. Lots of T1P to protect against some telemaser nonsense. And now the Fat Boys in the south will get their revenge and start wiping out the southern edge of Team 1. Zerzer and Mythologist has just been hammering one another with everything they can throw at each other. We do see that artillery, of course, targeting the air grid, not air grid, but the PGen grid to try to deal with the shields. And that other nuke was shot down because it was barely in the ring of that SMD. We do see artillery now targeting this. Looks like they're going after High Hose Comm directly. Kind of surprised they're not going after the nuke over here. But, you know, they have their targets, reticles set on the Scathus. Some of that air grid still being just ripped apart. That Pigeon is not going to have a good day. There it goes. There goes a couple more minutes. And that, of course, is the benefit with having so many satellites, is if you can time it right, you essentially can have all of them be firing, not necessarily simultaneously, but you can have one firing after the other, after the other, after the other, because the shields don't regen naturally unless they're not taking any damage. So if you can keep them from not regenning, then you can keep them from not staying online until the shields aren't regenning. See if the lasers should stop. Oh no, see the lasers still firing. The Scathus is almost done. Some of the shields will fall offline, but there's just a lot of them. I don't like the fact that they're all on one side, but that could just be the fact of where he positioned the Scathus. He doesn't really have a good place for him. But at least they're there, kind of thing. But I wish they would be all around it. They have Mavor, says Literal. And Billy Nuke lands over here by Mach Shiesty. He tries to teleport Billy Nuke, but it isn't enough. The shields hold against one of them. Couple more, and that's going to crack the shielding. But we do see a horde of strap bombers inbound. Going to try to ground fire Mach. He'll take no damage from that, so he didn't even have to move. But he's actually going to be moving closer to the shoreline, which means the AoE might be enough to crack his shield and his hole and kill him. But that's a lot of strap bombers there, Themo. That is 23 strap bombers. That's 2 squadrons of bombers. And the AoE is starting to take effect now. Yep, starting to take effect now. That's a dead commander. There he goes. Don't know why he tried to push in, but it was not going to be enough. And that is a kill for Team 2, dropping this game to a 4v5, 55 minutes on the clock. And, of course, the Scathus is currently firing. Fat Boys in the middle, continuing to pressure both sides. Well, Team 2 has their Fat Boys. Team 1 has their Fat Boys. That is just unhealthy. How many? The question remains, how many does one player need? Part 2. Of course, if you haven't seen that video, it's actually the highest viewed video on the channel. It's like 4,700 views or something as currently this video is being recorded. It's 47, 48, something like that. A couple of shots do pierce some of the shielding, but it's not too bad. Scath is firing Literal. Would you attack with all air on north, says Themo. He will move his ASFs to the north, and then I can start bomb his Scathus. I mean, yeah, that would work, but now the Scathus is firing on Literal. His nuke is online, and it's not loaded yet. His Mavor is half done. Shield. Oh, it impacts the... Oh, that's gotta hurt. It was a direct impact, and the shield came online at the last second. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh, that's... Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. That's so much time that Literal invested in that Mavor, and it's just gone. Oh, that's rough. That is very, really rough, especially because the shield was popping online moments after the artillery landed. And it looks like this attack from Team 1 not really going anywhere. Just looks like one Fat Boy was killed off, though, but still 2 Fat Boys remain. This southern side has just been a constant just slugfest. Various and Themo go to foe. We do see kaboom. Team 2 loses Literal to High Hose Nuke. There's no SMD. It looks like it was almost about to be loaded. He actually, no, he control Ks before the nuke lands, but I'll technically count that for High Hose kill because Oh, wait, no, he killed, excuse me, he killed off Mythologist and Literal Control Cade. And Nuke lands, takes out some more not SECUs, but some ASFs. Excuse me, I read that wrong. Yeah, so Team 2 loses Mythologist to the Nuke, and then Literal Control Ks. I don't think it would have been from a P-Gen, but I think that was a legit Control K. At least I wasn't paying too close of attention. Apologies for that. But it is now a 3v2 in favor of Team 1, which gives Touch My Berries 1.3k mass income and Themo 1.5k mass income, making this game a 2.7k versus 2.4k. And you can just see what Touch My Berries will be funneling that into with the satellites. The shields are down. Oh, the Duke still has a couple more hit points. Oh, that was very close. Now the Billy Nuke lands somewhere. Where'd it go? Or is that an SACU somewhere? Scathus is firing on Touch My Berries' position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 satellites online underneath. A couple of shielding. And, of course, they're assisting it the best they can. How many does one player need? My dog's barking in the background over something. And that artillery, to be my surprise, is still alive. Shields are just being pumped out by these engineers. But under multiple artillery installations plus, what was that, 7? Yeah, 7 satellites. It's still alive somehow, so that's just the grit that Lasas is. He really wants that Duke to stay online because he knows that once that's gone, it's just full focus onto this Scathus. Second Scathus has been started. I mean, I think at this point you might as well just go for a T3 artillery emplacement. It's cheaper, and at least you can get some shots out to really assist that Scathus. But, you know, it is fun to just have 2 of them running around. Shielding is collapsing, but it's kind of staying online. Of course, the Scathus is just a shotgun shell barrage, so it's really hard to pinpoint one target. But if the shielding isn't strong enough, it could just be just a domino effect. The Nuke still online. Killed off 300,000 mass. They get fired technically 1, 2, 3, 5 nukes. Maybe 6. We'll just say 6 to make the math easier. So that's still 50,000. If it's 5, that's 60,000. So still a decent, efficient nuke. And that Scathus is raining down on those those Novaxes. Of course, there are more Novaxes down here. At least I saw one somewhere. Because it was transferred over to Themo, what it looked like. Yeah, Themo has it. I don't know if... Oh, no, yeah, it's right there. And he's building an artillery down there as well. Actually, Touch My Berries is... Why is that owned by Touch My Berries? Themo's building it. No idea what that's about. We have some SACUs spamming out more artillery. And 2 crabs are down here for Zur. I feel like if Zur went north and around, it'd be a little bit better, but just this constant funneling into a corner, or at least the kill box is just really making this go so long in this engagement on one way or the other, because this is Team 2's, strategy here, at least that was a Mythologist for a long time, which is keep Zur distracted down here, and he's done a very good job of that. We do see some Strat Bombers and another laser inbound. Strat Bomber might get a Mex or 2, and I did see a message about a YOLO, and it is done. The YOLO T4 experimental missile launcher, the big super nuke, is done. Team 1, are you prepared for it? No, you're not. There it goes. Kaboom! Will it kill the comm of Hi-Ho? He did take some damage. Will he make it out of there? He will make it out, but that so lucky, says Squealer. Yeah, that was that was rough. He did take some damage, but 258 hit points a second. Region will get him up right as rain really quick. Satellites still fine, but definitely needs some more shielding. Scathus, of course, targeting that to YOLO. YOLO actually losing a lot of its shielding. More comes online and offline, but it's looking a little bit worrisome there for that YOLO. How is the Scathus doing? Still good. Looks like the nuke is going to go there. We have some satellites running around going after all of the P-Gens. If Team 2 can starve everybody on Team 1 of power, the shields will fall offline naturally. Lasas looks like he's kind of struggling to keep that online. Zero is still positive for a little bit, and Hi-Ho as well. But that's just a couple of P-gens for those two players. We do see crabs are pushing. One fat boy, two fat boys. Will it be enough? The first crab is down. Second crab going after those Ravagers, of course. There's tons of artillery in the mix. And there's, of course, a satellite that's over on the western side. The Duke is almost done. Oh, not doing great there for those fat boys. Another nuke is going to land. SMDs have been built, of course. They are going to be spammed up. One from each of them fires. And that Scathis is still in the red. It's not going as fast as it used to. Regular nuke inbound from Team 1's Hi-Ho going after, I think it was going after down here, it looked like, just to go after something. There is one SMD there. And the, bomber lands just short. Second bomber inbound. Gets a little bit further than the first one. Oh, there it goes. Crash damages won't do as much as it used to, of course. But the bomb will land right on top of the YOLO. Will it be enough to just crack the shielding? No, it won't. And had it cracked the shielding, the shots were inbound. That would have been a perfect 1-2 punch. Some of the emitters go offline, but the YOLO is fine. Had that cracked the shielding, that could have been enough to take out the YOLO. Another volley is inbound, but the the shields will be built before then. At least some of them will be. Shield says no, Ninra shields. Yep, echo my statement there. You need more shields. If you think you have enough, build more. If you know you have enough, still build more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fat boys. That is a critical mass of fat boys. That's so many fat boys. I think Touch My Berries is kind of UE. He kind of likes the UEF a lot because there are 8 fat boys and there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 soon. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 soon to be satellites. That is just how many does one player need? Honestly, just how many does one player need? Part 2. Don't bother until you kill those SMD. They probably have 12 anti-nuke loaded. I mean, that is fair to not focus on trying to go for nukes there. Scathis actually moving for some reason. And I don't know if this is just a cosmetic thing. Somebody pointed this out, I think it was a couple weeks ago, that it's on treads. You can see it's trundling around, but it has like spider legs. So I wonder if that was the initial design of the developers to have it, essentially crawl like or move like the monkey does or the crab does, but they just didn't want to animate the legs because there's a lot of them. Maybe that's how it locks in. I just haven't paid too much attention, so the Scathis does go back. Everyone's pinging it like, there it goes. That was funny. Maybe that was a misclick. But that Scathis just slowly moving out of the shield group like, guys. But look at that. Look at that fat boy pressure down the middle. That's a lot. That is a lot of fat boys. Lots of satellites. I'm torn between what I should have the thumbnail be. Either the satellites or this just almost unholy amount of fat boys. Because look at this. They just don't even care that there's a fat boy there. The shield's about to pop back. Oh, it does get a rank efficiency. Will it survive? Oh, no, it's dead. It's dead. This one's dead. But it just, look at this, it just doesn't care. It's just going to keep going. That fat boy is dead. Or not really much defenses up here to the north. That nuke did get taken offline by those satellites. And they're called back north. Another Duke was built. Oh, maybe, actually, no, that's the same Duke. How is that Duke still alive at this point? Nuke is outbound once again from Team 2's YOLO. And it looks like the invasion has commenced. Team 1 finally, after 1 hour, has broken through and is now starting to go after Mythologist's old base, Literal's old base. Just the clean slate has started to occur. Tons of strap bombers over here for the sauce, going after all of those fatties. Oh no! All of that mass. No! There it goes. But there's an SMD here, says Squealer. No, there's not actually. How many satellites do you have, Touch My Bear? You have 14 satellites. The nuke. Oh, the nuke almost landed. Ooh, that was close. An SMD barely loaded in time. But 14. Where are all your satellites then if you have 14 of them? Oh. Oh, that's a thing. Huh.
Strategic launch detected.
That's interesting. What are all these icons still there? That's pretty good. There we go. That is just terrifying. He's like, I'm just gonna line them up. I don't care. Just go for it. 14 satellites. The shields are falling. The SMDs are the main target, of course. And that Scathis is not long for this world. There's still one SMD here. And that one's not long for this world. Oh, just barely. It's grabbed it. Oh, that nuke is going to launch. And that's inbound. Perfect timing. Scathis inbound. The shield is down. Oh, I see some dead satellites here shortly. But that nuke is going to land. We're going to watch it. There it goes. The satellites are like, get us out of here. Boom. There's the initial wave of damage. And then the secondary wave of damage and everything. The second Scathis was almost in the green too. There goes the calm of the sauce. There goes 1 line of shielding, 2 lines of shielding, 3 lines of shielding. Will the Scathis survive? Oh, it does. God. He's like, gosh, that was annoying. And how are those satellites doing? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I think there was one right here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, next volley comes in, kills off another couple of them. So there was, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them of the 10 that were over here. Zur is killed off by Touch My Berries, just wiped off the face of the map with those satellites. 1 hour, 7 minutes on the clock. Team 1's last player alive is Hi-Ho. And there is a large land fight, of course, emerging. But with the YOLO plus the artillery plus the satellites, I don't think it's going Team 1's way. And I will speed this up to +2. Satellites starting to just rip everything apart. Nuke going to rip all of this apart, so that's not going to last very much longer. Zats are awful. No one likes them like Billy. I misclick, says Themo. That artillery still online, surprisingly. Costs a lot, yet they seem so cheap, says Shiesty. I built satellites fast as monkeys, it seems. And here comes just the wave of units inbound. And it's going to take a while to really chew through everything on the way to the northeastern corner. But it's just kaboom. There goes that section of Hi-Ho's base. 1 hour, 8 minutes in climbing. Launch on the pod next, where I think I saw his ACU there at one point marked. Says Squealer, so Team 2 should see. Oh yeah, possibly over there. Nuke is going to land. There goes that just infernal artillery. Oh, nope, they're going to go to split the difference and go for the Mavor that just was started, but that's not going to go anywhere. To see a new gamer in there. Oh, the artillery. Oh. The artillery's still alive. That's still alive. Look, it's right there. Oh, man. That is hilarious that artillery is still alive somehow. And there goes another nuke. Impacts right off the shore. There goes Control K's everything. And Team 2 wins the game at 1 hour and 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes. That was a very long game. I haven't casted one of those in a while. But thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. MVPs for this game. I mean, the YOLO was the straw that broke the camel's back at this point. Obviously, all of those satellites were very, very helpful, but the YOLO really just caused a lot of urgency for Team 1 to go after that experimental. They almost got it a couple of times. That dual bomber plus Scathis almost killed it off. Had the shield, the main shield, come offline to the YOLO and those shots come in from the Scathis initially, I think that'd be a dead YOLO. And I don't think that would have been game there, but it definitely would have led to Team 1's at least potential for success going even higher. I mean, we do have Mythologist down here being very stalwart in defense. Got killed off by that nuke. And still, Team 2 held for a while longer. But I do think overall, Themo did a very, very good job. And of course, I don't want to just give it to the guy who built 14 satellites. That definitely did help. But I think I'm a little bit more partial to the YOLO. Because even if this land fight still happened and it's still pushed in, it'd be a long amount of time, and that YOLO would have killed everything else off. So let me know down in the comments who you would pick for MVP. I got to go with Themo29 for this one, but of course, I'm not always right or wrong or both, so please let me know. I love reading your comments, and of course, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button, share this video with your friends, family, and pets, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one.